What's up, Facebook? We are torn into the Grand National right now. Figured I'd give everyone that was following this car along an update. Got the valve covers off. We have all the bolts off to take the injectors off. We're gonna be replacing the valve cover gasket with the better Pro ones, along with putting the new valve covers on. It was pissing out oil from the back because of this valve cover and the gasket. So we have a better solution for that. Injector's gonna come off, get cleaned on my tested and cleaned on my injector machine. We have all new heater hoses, all new cooling hoses, radiators coming off, and we are installing a bunch of new parts. So we'll come back here. So first things first, because the stock radiator is busted, we're putting a brand new Champion aluminum 3-row radiator in there. Still gonna preserve the oil cooling and the transmission cooling in the radiator. We have brand new silicone hoses, upper and lower, and all the heater hoses. They're gonna be silicone, so they're gonna be reinforced better and have a better look in the engine bay. Again, we're putting the new valve covers on with these way better Pro valve cover gaskets. As you can tell, there's the middle point between these two holes cause it to kind of be hard to install because you have that metal reinforcement. These are gonna be much easier to install and have a better fitment, better seal. And there's more of the hoses and stuff in here for the heater stuff. Electronics, we have a nice dual gauge pod that's going to be flush in the center console. It's actually specifically made for the Grand National and fit 2 gauges. One is going to be this glow shift boost gauge, which is tinted when it's off, light up, and you can change the color when it's on, up to 30 psi. We should be about 15 to 17. ScanMaster G, which is very important for any Regal or Grand National owner. It gives you all the data from the vehicle. It's nice for diagnosing. So that's going to be the second pod in the gauge, or second gauge in the pod. We got a brand new chip for the vehicle from Turbo Tweak. Shout out to Turbo Tweak. So you can see, right, 28-pound injectors, which are factory. Street 93, because we run on 93 with a little bit of ethanol. This chip is going to update it so this car runs how it should on our current fuel, not on 87 fuel, because obviously we're not running that anymore. So, and it's going to up the boost a little bit to 15 to 17, adjust the timing accordingly for the new fuel, and this should put the car at about 300 horsepower. It's 240 from the factory, which is always underrated. They usually, a lot of people say they're like 270 from the factory. This is going to be about 300 to 310, which is really nice, and more so the idling is going to be much better, the drivability is going to be much better. Comes to this right here, we have a brand new LT1 3-inch MAF with the MAF translator, and the chip is going to be tuned for that. Even without the chip, you could run this translator and run from factory. The factory MAFs on these Grand Nationals, not only are they discontinued, but they're very iffy, very unreliable. When they go bad, what are you going to do? Get another one that's used and it might be bad? No. Right, that's where you get the LT1 one, which are super reliable. You could put a used one on there. I opted to go new just to, have that peace of mind with the MAF translator. And again, the chip's gonna comes in for all that. And then we have this right here, which is gonna make this car super reliable. These Grand Nationals are notorious for fuel pump issues. So we have a Racetronics 255 fuel pump that's direct bolt-on, factory harness, so there's no, chopping anything up. It's going to connect right to the factory harness, ethanol compatible. We're not running fully 85, but that 10% in our fuel does matter, right? Fitted for the digital gauge, so this is the proper one that we need. So this is going to make the car run like a champ and be super reliable. Hopefully this is like a one and done fuel pump that goes in the car. To go along with that is going to be a Racetronics G7 adjustable fuel pressure regulator. That's going to go right to the factory fuel rail. And what's nice about this is you have obviously your adjustment nut right there, vacuum line, and then this front port right here, we could put this guy on there. They've got a JEGS fuel pressure regulator. Sorry, not fuel gauge for the fuel pressure regulator. So one, JEGS is that it's got that cool look to it. I think it's gonna not only make the engine bay look much nicer, but instead of having to hook up a gauge every single time, you're gonna always be able to monitor your fuel pressure. So if the car starts acting up between the ScanMaster G and the fuel pressure gauge, you'll be able to diagnose whatever problem it's having on the spot, no matter where you are. But hopefully, again, with all these new parts, it shouldn't have any more problems because we're getting rid of all the problematic stuff, right? Factory fuel pump, factory MAF. So That's awesome. And to go along with all that, because this Racetronics fuel pump is going to ask for more power, we didn't want to have it shut off and run lean. We've got the Racetronics hot wire kit, which is what it does is really cool, right? So this part right here, that connector, actually hooks up right to the alternator, because the alternator output obviously is going to be the highest voltage. And it goes to a custom relay. It goes plug and play right to the back. So even if you want to run to the factory fuel pump, you can, but obviously we're using this one. So again, no hack jobs, everything is plug and play. Racetronics is super good company. They use all the GM wire looms, so it'll be weather resistant. It's not just the cheap stuff that's going to give out over time. And yeah, you're going to get that full voltage at all time. It's got a lip ground for the fuel tank, few more body grounds to ensure you have a good power and good ground. And it optimizes all OEM holes, so there's no drilling to put this relay or anything in there. Everything's meant to be direct bolt on for the vehicle, no hack job. And then obviously we're going to put all the new fuel parts. Why would we do that without a brand new fuel filter? So we've got a AC Delco GM brand new fuel filter that's going to go on the vehicle, which is cool. A lot of T-bolt clamps to replace a bunch of parts under the hood. You got, unfortunately, I couldn't get an AC Delco on time, so we'll run this for now. It's not a big deal. Duralast transmission filter with a Felpro transmission pan gasket. It's seeping down there, so we've got that to fix that problem. And yeah, the rest of it, again, I'm replacing the factory intake that was ripped with the GN1 cold air intake, K9 air filter. That's going to run right along here, so you never have to worry about rips and tears again. The factory unit, you could tell it was all ripped up. And I actually ordered a new one. It just canceled my order because I couldn't find it. So I'm like, why deal with that? Let's get a better one. It's going to be all T-bolt clamped up. We're getting rid of the factory valve cover. Has this breather that goes from the valve cover into the turbo inlet, which means oil will go all in your intercooler and your turbo. It's not good, right? We don't want oil in there. And that actually cause these couplers to kind of get oil soaked. So we're having new silicone couplers for the inlet of the intercooler, outlet of the intercooler. We're going to be replacing these worm clamps with T-bolt clamps to hold a better connection. Like I said, the intake, you can see, already has T-bolt clamps on there, which is great. So yeah, again, this car is going to be super modernized, guys. The whole purpose of this car is making this thing a driver and reliable. It was a driver before it was parked, 69,000 miles. The original owner drove it, no winters. Whoever buys it next is going to have a driver that's super reliable. Okay, the only really fuel stuff I'm reusing are these stock injectors. And again, I will get new stock injectors if I feel like they're bad and they don't pass my fuel test, but they're going to be ultrasonic clean. This should be good to go. I didn't want to upgrade them just because, again, I want to keep that reliability. We'll have a little bit more power off the stock turbo with that chip. And I just think it's going to be a perfect, beautiful driver you can take out on the weekends, take wherever you want. You want to go on a road trip, you don't have to worry about anything giving out on you. Oh, is my fuel pump going to give out? Is my MEF going to give out? This, again, is another common issue, right? The ignition module. The factory one, we tested, it was bad. So got a Duralast ignition control module. I wanted to get AC Delco, didn't have any stock, but this should be fine. This is an AC Delco coil, ignition coil, which is cool. So, you know, worst case scenario, only takes like 15 minutes to replace this with the AC Delco to get the matching ones. But ignition control module and coil are brand new, so one more thing you don't have to worry about. Brand new plugs and wires were already installed on the car. This thing is going to be ripping. Oil is going to be good. Again, transmission is going to be brand new flushed. The rear diff I already have done in a previous video, so we've got the correct fluid in the back there with the proper LSD additive and a new gasket because it was seeping. So the rear end is good. Man, this car is going to be, can't wait till it's done. So stay tuned all. Once it's done, we're going to make some more videos of it driving around. Just figured I'd make this little quick update for Facebook because I know a lot of people were following me along, following along on this build. And yeah, any other suggestions you want to see with content, let me know. I'll make sure to get it done. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure to check out TunerWorld Auto Sales. We'll be hopefully up and running within the next month and a half. We're gonna have a bunch of cool cars that are gonna be reliable, ready for everyone to go at great prices. All right, peace. Whew, that was a lot of talking.